If you guys play Ultimate Team and you want to get some coins, make sure to check out my sponsor, link in the description, mutreserve.com. Use my code CK and I promise you'll be rich one day. But in the meantime, you'll get 15% off your order. Welcome back, you guys, your boy CK, and can somebody explain to me, how are the Colts this amazing on defense? For the second week in a row, we're going to be using these group of individuals, man. Unbelievable performance versus the Jets. 6 tackles for a loss. 2 pick sixes, one of them by Xavier Rhodes, one of them by TJ Carey. I knew this defense would be nasty with the acquisition of DeForest Buckner, but I didn't think they would be this good or this dominant, man. This is unbelievable. Right now, they're looking to go deep in the playoffs if they can keep this up. Now, if you're new around here, this is Stat Leaders of the Week. NFL edition, man. This is week number 3s. I literally go to websites and I check who had the best fantasy numbers at every single position, so there's no bias or anything involved. It's that simple, man. So let's go ahead and check out the roster. I had a hunch that we would get a quarterback from that Chiefs and Ravens game. It ended up being Mahomes, man. He was just on a different level. He had 385 yards on almost 74% completion percentage with 4 touchdowns through the air, no interceptions, no turnovers, and he had 4 for 26 and 1 touchdown on the ground. That gave him the edge over Russell Wilson because fantasy weighs rushing touchdowns slightly more than passing touchdowns, which is why Russell Wilson is going to be the backup, man. He had a phenomenal week once again. This MVP race is going to be amazing, okay? This man had 315 yards, 68% completion percentage, 5 touchdowns through the air. So once again, he finds himself on this team. I don't know if it's 3 weeks in a row or 2 weeks in a row. Either way, I know he's having an incredible season. Shout out to Josh Allen. He would have been the next quarterback. Let's move on to running backs. Alvin Kamara, I think he had to play the week. That long touchdown catch. Yes, he did most of his damage through the air. In the receiving game, this man had 13 for 139 and 2 touchdowns. He also added 6 for 58 on the ground. Almost a 10-yard per carry game versus the Packers, man. Unbelievable performance. Even though they ended up losing, he was the #1 running back in week number 3 by far based on the numbers. Rex Burkhead for the Patriots, man. It's always a different running back. Like, I haven't been watching them too much this year. I've seen Cam highlights, but for running back, you're like, okay, they have James White, they have Burkhead, they have Sony. You don't know who's going to go off. This week, it was Burkhead, man. 7 for 49 and a touchdown through the air. 6 for 49 and 2 touchdowns on the ground. That stat line's insane, and he still ended up the #2. Just to show you how amazing Kamara's week was. Honorable mentions to Derrick Henry, James Robinson, Dalvin Cook, man. There were just a bevy of running backs that had great weeks. But yeah, these were the top 2. But there was one wide receiver that stood above the rest in week number 3. When is this man gonna get his respect, man? He should be in the 90s. I don't know what his overall is right now, but if it's not at least low 90s, something's wrong. Tyler Lockett, just always consistent. And then he has weeks like this. 9 receptions, 100 yards, 3 touchdowns versus the Cowboys, man. Easily the best performance by a wide receiver in week number 3. Justin Jefferson up next, man. I've been screaming since draft day that the Eagles should have taken him. Hindsight's 2020, you know. I still like Rager. I like the speed he brings to the Eagles, but Jefferson, I knew from day one he had just a high floor. But he was going to produce no matter what. And I guess he just wasn't a scheme fit for the Eagles, but he's doing his thing in Minnesota. He had 7 for 175 and a touchdown, man. Absolute beast. Next up, it's Cedric Wilson, man. What is with the Cowboys and their wide receiver factory? Like, are you kidding me? Cedric Wilson went off for 5, 107 and 2 touchdowns, bro. Unbelievable. Dallas always keeps a couple good wide receivers on the team. It is what it is. If you ever questioned whether the Stat Leaders of the Week was legit, whether I'm actually using just the fantasy numbers, well, I'm an Eagles fan. And we end up having 2 Cowboys, not just 1, on this week's team. So I don't want to hear anything from anybody, okay? Michael Gallup ended up producing the 5th most fantasy points in week number 3 for any wide receiver, man. 6 receptions, 138 yards, and 1 touchdown, man. That was thrown all over the place. And then the wide receiver with the 4th most fantasy points in week number 3 was Allen Lazard. He had 6 for 146 and a touchdown, man. The Packers are undefeated right now. Rodgers is getting it done. Jimmy Graham turned back the clock in week number 3, 6 for 60 and 2 touchdowns, man. I'm glad to see him produce again. A lot of people said he was done. A lot of people said it was time for him to retire, but clearly that's not the case, man. He's killing it in Chicago. Tyler Kroft for the Bills ended up having 4 for 24 and 2 touchdowns. Tight ends are just very efficient early on in the season, man. Half of their catches end up being touchdowns for the most part, man. So those are going to be our top 2, man. Ebron, Mo Alley Cox, and Tunyon were up next. Also, I didn't shout out any wide receiver honorable mentions, man. Allen Robinson, Keenan Allen, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Tyreek Hill. I mean, I could just keep on going. I don't even know where to stop. But yeah, those were the next ones up. The offensive line, of course, is going to be the Saints. So that is the squadron, man. 83 overall. We have Mahomes leading the way. So I think it's guaranteed that we're going to make a deep run into the playoffs. But let's see how they're doing halfway through the season. Whoa, buddy. Why are we losing to the Lions? I'm glad I stopped it, man. Okay, 5-2. We're still leading our division. But in case we don't make the playoffs, man, I got to get some gameplay with this squadron. So let's go ahead and play versus the Ravens. One drive offense and defense. You know the vibrations. We have Lamar versus Mahomes once again. Second time this week. Yes, sir. Let's see. Okay, that's a nice dot. Never mind. Okay, he caught that. Next week, I'm going to have to create a whole new franchise just for the Colts because I know their overalls will be updated. And who knows? They'll probably end up as the stat leaders again for defense. But in this game, they're just not good enough. It's blasphemy. A lot of people need some upgrades on this defense, man. That's all I'm going to say. Even Darius Leonard. I mean, he led the team in tackling in week number 3, just all over the field. Probably going to be another Pro Bowl nomination for him. They don't want to run the ball. It's just nothing but passes. Nothing but passes. Lamar dotting us up down the field. Let's try to bend but don't break, man. Coach, I'm trusting y'all. Trusting y'all to make a play. Let's go. Nice tackle for a loss. If the Colts aren't the best defense in the league right now, who is? Through 3 games, who's having a better season so far? I'm curious. Let me know. I think before this week, you could say the Ravens, but I understand the Chiefs are incredible, you know, but they still had a ton of points versus them. So I think they're out of contention for the best defense right now. Thank God that was out of bounds. Gonna hold them to 3. We're gonna begin with a run, baby. Alvin Kamara. Hopefully you can recreate that run you did versus the Packers. That'll be a sight. Actually, it wasn't a run, my bad. The RPO with Lockett doing an out route. You don't see that every day. Looking for Jimmy Graham most likely, if not Kamara. Man, Kamara's pretty much a wide receiver. He's pretty much a wide receiver. This man can catch everything, and his yak is just incredible. And I think I might be saying his name wrong. I heard the announcer say Kamara, so I don't know which one it is, to be honest with you. Any Saints fan, please let me know. Mahomes throwing a dot right there to Gallup, because yeah, I want to make sure I get his pronunciation right for the future. I don't think this is the last we're going to see of him in this series for the rest of the year, man. Okay, the Ravens defense is disgusting. Very tough to move the ball right now. I'm going to see if we can get Jefferson over the middle, man. The promising rookie. Come on. Oh, on the run. Look at Jefferson with the nice catch in traffic. I'm trying to show some love to Burkhead, so let's give him a carry on this first down and 10, man. We black Calais. We have a chance. Okay. 75. That was a nice block. Let's keep it simple on this 3rd and 9, man. Slants. Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Oh, that was not good. That was not good. How do we not tackle? What? All right. I want to let them handle this. I think they can hopefully come back. All right, yeah, I didn't think so because it was just not in our favor. When I saw 3 people run past the guy to intercept the football and not tackle him, I had a feeling we would end up losing. All right, so we ended up 10-6. Did not win our division, man. I don't know. I feel like we had the best quarterback of the series so far, but the surrounding cast on offense has been the worst so far. Through 3 weeks, you know, still really good, but just not the best we've seen. Mahomes still had a really good season. 39 touchdowns, only 12 interceptions, over 4,000 yards. Kamara did his thing on the ground, 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns. Jefferson led the team in receiving yards and receiving touchdowns, 13. By far the most, man. Lockett, Graham ended up with 6 and 8, respectively, on defense. Okay, Bobby Okereke once again. I remember last time we had the Colts. He led the team in tackling. Darius Leonard only ended up number 4, but he was tied for the 3rd most tackles for loss on the squadron, man. Sacks leader was Justin Houston. Darius Leonard right behind him, then Buckner. There are 3, I would say, most high-profile names on the defensive end. Let's go ahead and check out the yearly awards. Cam Newton wins MVP. Mahomes ends up in the top 5. And then he's number 3 for OPOY. DPOY. Steelers were the top 2. Jesus, they probably ended up going deep in the playoffs. We had nobody in the top 10, unfortunately. Best QB, Mahomes, number 2. Kamara, number 3 for best running back. Jefferson, number 5 for best wide receiver. Let's see if any of the Saints O-linemen made it. Yes, sir. 1, 2 in the top 10. That's not bad at all, man. Justin Houston, 3rd best D lineman. What about linebackers? Linebackers, nobody, unfortunately, man. Best DB, nobody again. Okay, so let's go ahead and check the schedule and see what happened in the playoffs, man. Wild card round. We lost to the Bengals. Are you kidding me? So, okay. I feel like we're going backwards. Last week, I think we made it to the conference championship and lost. This week, we lose in a wild card round. Hopefully next week is, more high profile names. It was nice to see some underdog guys, some like third, fourth stringers on some teams make it. But yeah, it didn't cause for the best team possible for our stat leaders of the week squadron, man. So yeah, we'll see if we can bounce back next week. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, take 2 seconds and destroy that like button, man. Also, don't forget to subscribe for new. And I'll see you next week.